Please rise. Uncover.
Let us pray. Holy God, we pause this day in remembrance. We remember the lives that were lost. We remember the bravery of those who have gone forth to serve and to fight. We remember the great cause of freedom. And we give you thanks that we are free, that we are able to be here today to remember and to honor those who have made that possible. We ask that you bring your help and your comfort to those who have served and come back to be in our midst, to those who have lost loved ones in the fight for freedom. And we ask that you hold us always in your vision of a people that will work together for the good of all, that we might serve you as we serve our country, as we serve our community, and as we serve our families. Amen.
Amen. Please remain standing. Cover. Please join us in a pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. One. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Two. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to our Master of Ceremonies, past 3rd District Commander, past Post Commander.
Past everything, Commander.
Past everything.
And I was remiss because I was reading the names here. The village clerk, Jane Quinlan, my number one partner in crime.
I like that.
And you want to get it done, we call up Jane, and it's a done deal. And Jerry Herkus. Okay, thank you. I wouldn't be able to sleep tonight unless I acknowledged them.
I'd like to hear a couple words from our distinguished guest, Congressman Dan Lipinski.
Hey.
Oh, yeah, please be seated. Sorry. Do I stand at attention or do I like it? Too German?
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation this morning. I actually got up this morning and had my tea on my Johnson-Phelps mug, which I do every morning. And it's great to have the Phelps family here this morning with us. This is the third of 5 events I'm doing here today. There are at least 15 events I've invited to in the district, which is really heartwarming in this district. And I talked to my colleagues in Washington, and many of them don't have, I say that's Memorial Day might be my busiest day of the year back home, and some of them say, well, no, there's not that much that goes on in my district. It just says so much about the people here who live in the 3rd district. And it's always good to be with you. I was looking for something a little bit different, new to talk about today. And last night I was drawn to the Gettysburg Address. And I invite all of you to go and read the whole address. Don't worry, it's very, very short. But what was Abraham Lincoln was part of the dedication of the cemetery at Gettysburg, the bloodiest battles of the Civil War. And he started out by reminding people that it wasn't that long ago that this new nation was formed, dedicated to life and liberty, and there were questions that people had about the survival And there was lots, America would either get attacked from outside, cease to exist, or crumble from the inside. And he was saying, all of these men died here on this battlefield. Let me read a little bit of this. He said what was most important that they do that day and remember in the future. It is for us living to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain. That this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom. And that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. On Memorial Day, we are remembering all those who died, fighting for us and for our nation, which still today is the shining beacon on the hill of freedom for all those around the world. And the best way for us to remember those today on Memorial Day, those who have died, also all those who have fought, and I thank all of you who are here today who have fought for our nation and kept us free. It's up to all of us to rededicate ourselves to maintaining this great nation and maintaining our freedom. So this great nation under God can continue to go on and exist and be that beacon of freedom for all others around the world. So that someday everyone can enjoy what we enjoyed, have always enjoyed, and that we pass it on to generations to come. So I want to thank all of you here who have given so much for us. And thank you. And please, everybody, pray for all those men and women who are out in the field today, who are there defending us and keeping us free. Pray for them, and when those who do come back home, please do everything you can to take care of them. Remember that on this Memorial Day. God bless you and God bless America.
Late arrival, past state commander, member of our post, and my former partner on the Chicago Police Department for 10 years, Joe Station.
I'd like to please have Mayor Dr. Sandra Berry, please.
Good morning. Thank you everyone for coming out today. I especially love seeing all the children here. Thank you. If everyone could give a round of applause to the kids who are VFW for all they do to do a beautiful ceremony every year for Oaklawn residents. And thank you everyone also who came out today. It's important to note that Veterans Day isn't just a mattress sale. It's not about a barbecue or a long weekend. It's really a somber day of remembrance that our freedom isn't free. Memorial Day honors those who paid for our freedom and our liberty with their lives. We are truly grateful for their sacrifice, and we gather today in humble gratitude at the great gift of freedom they've given us. Since the Revolutionary War, 1,354,664 Americans have died in combat. Each of them was loved, each had dreams, and each was important. It is humbling, and it makes us very proud. How can we best honor those who died for our democratic rights? The answer is simple: participate in the democratic process. The simplest way to do that is to vote. On April 7th, the VFW commander of this post was on the ballot, and he didn't win. He said he didn't mind not winning, but what really got to him, what really shook him to the core, was that only 13.5% of residents in his district voted. This upset him far more than losing. Apathy, indifference, complacency, these are the nails in the coffins of our freedom. Care, concern, and action, these are the things that honor the sacrifice and memory of our fallen heroes. These things grow our democracy. So participate in the process. Please vote, attend meetings, get involved, write your elected officials, put your name on the ballot. Your voice in our democracy honors these fallen men and women in the best way possible. Through your voice in the process, our fallen veterans' voices still can be heard. The vibrant pulse of a free society is their pulse, living still. Let's honor them in this way. Let's keep their spirit alive. May God bless America, and may God bless them and their families. Thank you.
I'd like now have friend of the VFW post, Village Clerk Jane Quinlan.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here today. I got a call Friday in my office. I'm the village clerk in Oak Lawn, and it was a newspaper reporter. And they said that a community up north was canceling their Memorial Day parade because of expected rain. So one of my assistants came in and said, "Do we have a rain date? Are we canceling?" I said, "Absolutely not." And look at the turnout here today for our veterans. It wasn't him, but I thought, boy, I've never seen a crowd like this. And my husband and I were talking this morning, and I said, well, I'm going no matter what because I know everybody will be here. And I want to say the Phelps family, I've been the clerk for 10 years, and I've often thought about that name, Johnson-Phelps. Thank you so much, because you're well respected. I thought about, what does the word memorial mean? It means to remember. And for you students, like the congressman and the mayor alluded to, don't ever forget why you can go to the schools you can go to, why you can ride your bike wherever you want to. It's because of the men and women that gave their lives. And this is a solemn day, like the mayor said. After this, I always go out to the cemetery with my mother. I'm very touched. One of my father's best friends is in the back, Pete Ryan. My dad's dead 39 years. I saw Pete walk in, and thank you, Pete, for all you've done too.
I'd like to have, please now, the Daughters of the American Revolution.
I'm a proud member of Swallow Cliffs, Daughters of the American Revolution. Our grandparents fought in the American Revolution, and we hold great pride in our nation. Yesterday, we put out over 200 flags at Evergreen Cemetery on the graves of those that gave the supreme sacrifice. Being a minister, I really toiled over what I was going to say. And everything I was going to say, Dan said, Lipinski. And last night I just said, no, I'll let it go and see what God has. I just want to quote Harry Truman. Our debt to the heroic men and valiant women in the service of our country can never be repaid. They have earned our undying gratitude. America will never forget their sacrifices. And for those who made the supreme sacrifice, we shall not fail.
morning, everyone, and I want to say a hearty thank you that all of you came out in this unfortunate weather. But I think the rain is symbolic of the tears that are shed on Memorial Day. And I want to remind everyone that this day is a solemn day. It's not Happy Memorial Day. I refer to our Gold Star families and ask that they have a profound Memorial Day. This morning I opened up a book. It's a very, very special book. It's from a Gold Star mom who lost her young son in the war. And she wrote several poems. And in skimming through the pages, I kind of let God direct me as to what would be most appropriate. And I think this is a really important verse. This morning we were at Medal of Honor recipient Milton Olive Memorial Park, downtown Chicago at 8 a.m. There were not very many people there. When they dedicated the monument, everybody came out. And now there's weeds growing around that memorial. And this morning, they didn't lower the flag to half-mast. We cannot forget. Forget me not. Even though I can't call you today, have you heard the things I want to say? I know you think about me every day and will never let my memory stray. You will forget me not. I'm not asking you to be sad. I know sometimes you are also mad. But life is the best I could have had. Because of you, I'm glad. You will forget me not. I know your life will never be the same, and the tears sometimes you can't refrain. But I still hear you say my name and talk to me again and again. I know you will forget me not. You could never forget me. In you I see, keeping alive my memory, your pledge to me to forget me not. God bless America's Gold Star families, past, present, and those that may experience that in their future. God bless this great nation that wouldn't be the country that it is if it wasn't for the bravery of men and women that stand between evil and oppression and all of us. We sleep at night easily because they're standing the watch. Thank you so much.
We'll now have the presentation of the wreaths. With those that are going to present wreaths, please join over where Maureen is and stand up, Maureen. Oh, I'm sorry, you are. But she makes great cookies. Get it? I'll pay for that later. I'll have that dream where I'm eating a big marshmallow and be her with a pillow over my face. We'll start off by presenting the Gold Star wreath, presented by Leslie Johnson, wife of Captain Dan Johnson, and Franco Zarni. No applause is necessary.
VFW.
When that dries out, these will eventually be going over on a memorial. Next, the VFW wreath presented by Acting Commander Tom Crone and his wife Linda.
Let me go with you. That's very cool.
Johnson-Phelps Ladies Auxiliary, The wreath will be presented by Maureen Lumen, Senior Vice President, and incoming Commander Rich Bukowski. Purple Hearts. Will be presented by past State Commander Dan Finn and by Bob Wilcox, the Silver Star recipient, day after Normandy. And Dan, my good buddy, and he's still State Commander. I'm old and I forget. But I get to meet new friends every day. DAV. Disabled American Veterans. American Legion, presented by American Legion Post Commander Rich Bukowski and his wife Gail Bukowski. And last, but certainly not least, the Daughters of the American Revolution. If you wish, you can put it right in front of our American flags, right where it belongs. If it wasn't for those guys, there wouldn't be that. If it wasn't for the other guys in this room, there wouldn't be that either. Thank you very much, everybody.
Officer today, we now have the Honor Guard fire a volley salute in honor of the retirement of our nation's glorious banners and for all who have sacrificed for our nation's cause.
Please rise.
Please rise.
Present arms.
Please remain standing. Officer there, Hubler.
At this time, we just go to our closing ceremony. First of all, we want to give a final salute to the flag, but before we do that, we want to thank everybody for coming out. I mean, you made the effort to go over there and stand outside, but we just couldn't do that. Leave people out there in the rain. So for your improvising, I don't think it turned out too bad. And we are going to have coffee and donuts afterwards. You're welcome to join us. We'd ask that we have a limited supply, so just take one, and if there's anything left over, then us policemen can go. I'm one of, I roll with the joke, boys. Okay, at this time, we'd like to have a final salute to the flag of the United States of America. Ready? 1, 2. This concludes our ceremonies. Once again, thank you very much for coming out.
Everybody.